And welcome to Local Talk right here on Nextdoor Radio, nextdoorradio.com, and the Nextdoor Radio app. My name is Trey Stein. This is our Local Talk program, a Decision 2022, a special edition of our Local Talk program regarding the local elections here in Granville County. But like my good friend, Mr. Mike from the Granville County Republican Party, joins us here. How are you, my friend? You doing good?
Good. Good morning. How are you?
We are fantastic. I appreciate you. Before we kind of dive deep, we've got a really great subject, really conversation here today to really, highlight a few things, talk a little bit more about what you do. But there's a situation that came about, and we're going to really dive right in the full story here today. So we're looking
Great. Let's do it.
But before we do that, let's introduce you as only you could, okay?
So my name is Mike Magnanti. I am the Vice Chairman of the Granville County Republican Party. And we were elected back in March of 2021, so we haven't really been doing it all that long. And we're growing the party, and that has a lot to do with our political climate going on. And we're very excited about things to come, and we're very excited about this year's election.
Absolutely. Again, this is a Local Talk program, Decision 2022. My name is Trey Stein, a part of the Nextdoor Radio platform. Everything that we do is recorded by way of our website. Of course, you can go to SoundCloud, YouTube, everything like that, all social media. So let's kind of talk about first. There is, you went to the board the other day and came up with Chris Smoot situation. Mm-hmm. I want you to give the complete story if you're able to.
Sure. Let's
dive right in. Give some myths, some busters, that kind of thing, but let's kind of dive right in and explain everything about
So I'll start at the beginning, all right? Before Chris had officially announced, the week before, he had a meeting at the sheriff's office, and at that meeting, somebody notified Vance Johnson, who eventually wound up being our candidate, that meeting was taking place. And he contacted me and said, hey, they're having a meeting at the sheriff's office about Smoot running for office. He said, what should I do? And I said, you should worry about your primary race. You should not worry about it. And that was the end of Vance Johnson's involvement with the Chris Smoot situation.
Okay.
And then what I did was I contacted the North Carolina Republican Party and discussed with them options, and they said, well, that's probably not good. Let's see how this plays out. And then Chris announced he was running. He got the requisite number of signatures, and procedurally, in order for us to review those signatures to make sure they are legitimate, we have to pose a challenge. So it's a written challenge that you present to the Board of Elections. And if you don't do that, you don't get to see the signatures. So we did that. Now, if the signatures are legitimate and there doesn't seem to be any discrepancies, you just withdraw the challenge. So procedurally, that is the procedure, and that was originally why we posed the challenge, so that we could look at the signatures to see if there was any discrepancy in the signatures. In other words, signatures not matching, or even worse, signatures that do match. So a husband signs for a wife, something like that. And we saw about 417 of what we considered to be signatures that didn't look legit. And the way that we determined that was we looked at Granville County's Register of Deeds. And the Register of Deeds has notarized signatures from things like when you buy a house. And we looked at those signatures compared to the signatures on the petition, and if they didn't look the same or close or anything, we said this signature does not look right. And that was the basis of the challenge. So what we were arguing was we don't think that these signatures are 100% legit. And what the Board of Elections was determining was, did he collect the requisite number of signatures? So it was two separate things. We never said he didn't collect the requisite number of signatures. He did. Matter of fact, he collected more than the requisite number of signatures. So we were not arguing whether or not he did. What we were arguing was we think that the method and that some of the signatures were not legitimate. And that doesn't mean that Chris forged signatures. That's not what we were suggesting. We were suggesting because the procedure, there's no real controls. A husband can sign for a wife can sign for a husband. You can go into the store where the petition is and sign three people's names. Nobody would know. And so that's not his fault, but that is the system that we have.
Okay.
So the Democrat Party has done the same thing with the Green Party and has successfully kept the Green Party to not be recognized in North Carolina. And so it is just procedure, and that was originally what we did. That's how it happened. We had a hearing on June 24th through June 27th at the Granville County Board of Elections, where they determined Chris did in fact collect the requisite number of signatures, and we did not challenge that. We did not appeal that decision because we weren't really arguing that.
Okay.
So that's where our involvement stopped.
Okay. So what was the time frame for this?
Well, the challenge, you can't file the challenge until after he actually files as a candidate.
Okay.
So he filed for a candidate on primary day, which was May 16th.
Okay.
And when he filed on primary day, we prepared the challenge with the North Carolina Republican Party's attorneys and submitted the challenge soon thereafter. It was not very long, because your time frame is very limited. And the time frame for the Board of Elections to respond it's very, very limited. So we filed it, I think it was June 19th where we actually filed the challenge, and then June 24th is when we had the hearing. So it's very quick.
So I did a terrible job of intro going into that segment. Chris Smoot is a candidate for Granville County Sheriff along with Robert Fountain and Mr. Vance Johnson. So let's get that back out of the way. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Mr. Mike George is here. He's with Granville County Republican Party right here on our Local Talk program in Decision 2022. My name is Trace Knott, here part of Next Door Radio. So now let's kind of focus our attention on the candidate that's running for the Republican Party, Mr. Vance Johnson. Talk a little bit more about him. Again, a great man, of course, but me interacting with him along the way. But let's kind of talk about his candidacy.
Sure. So Vance Johnson is a unique candidate. The Granville County Republican Party has never put forth a candidate for sheriff in the history of our county. The Granville County Republican Party was established officially in 1971,
Wow.
and so we've never had a candidate for sheriff. So not only have we never had a candidate, but this is the first time that we've ever had a primary. And so we had a primary with 3 men that ran. Vance was the one that won. He won pretty convincingly, and we believe the reason why he won the primary is the same reason why he will win the general election, and that's because it is in my opinion, it is a clear choice. So Vance Johnson has over 3,500 hours of advanced executive level training. Vance Johnson has taught basic law enforcement training at Vance Granville Community College. Vance Johnson has been in executive level policing for the past 15 years. He is currently the assistant chief in Henderson, North Carolina. Henderson is one of only the 2 local our area police departments that are accredited. Accredited means that you have oversight at the state level. And so Henderson is accredited, and Durham is accredited, and nobody else is accredited. So Vance has also been the chief of police in the town of Wadesboro. So he has done this exact thing that we're asking him to do. If you were to take the qualifications list that the Granville County Commissioners put forth when they were looking for somebody to replace Charles Noblin last year, which we did, and you put that forth, and you put Vance's resume, and you put Rob Fountain's resume, and you put Chris Smoot's resume, Vance Johnson is the only one that meets those qualifications. The other 2 don't meet those qualifications. So here's the long and short of it. Robert Fountain has never been a policeman before in civilian life. He has 0 experience, and we believe that because of that disqualifies him. The sheriff is not an entry-level position, and that's what Rob Fountain is asking you to do. Chris Smoot is currently the chief deputy of the Granville County Sheriff's Office, and if you think that the Granville County Sheriff's Office is running perfectly and there are no issues there, then you should vote for him. Because Vance Johnson is not the person, he has never been involved in Granville County Sheriff's Office before, and we believe that in order to straighten out the issues that we have in the Granville County Sheriff's Office, we need somebody with executive level experience who has taken over before and who is from outside and not part of the culture of corruption that we currently have in the Granville County Sheriff's Office. So if you select Chris Smoot, you are going to get more of the same. We all can agree, no matter who we are and no matter what political stripe we have, if you continue to do the same thing, you are going to continue to get the same thing. That's not really a question. And so if you continue to elect the same people from the same pool of candidates, you are going to continue to get the same results. And Rob Fountain just not qualified. He's probably qualified to be a jailer. He has extensive experience in that, and I'm not even questioning whether or not he is a leader. Our candidate, Clint Owens, excellent leader, very qualified businessman, but he'd never been a law enforcement before. He's never done a car stop before. He's never knocked on anybody's door and served a warrant before. He's never done a drug raid before. He's never done any of these things before. So he has, through no fault of his own, has no idea what it takes to do those things. It would be like me running for sheriff. I'm not qualified. Doesn't mean I have no qualifications for anything else. And so that's the reason why Rob Fountain is not qualified to be sheriff, and I believe that it is a dangerous thing. If we had a horrible incident on day one of the new sheriff, do you want somebody that has been the man in charge of the agency, or do you want somebody who has zero experience? And I don't want somebody with zero experience. Not to be my sheriff. It's not an entry-level position.
Hey, Mr. Mike George here. He is with the Granville County Republican Party right here on our Decision 2022 special edition of our Local Talk program. If you missed the live program, of course, we're doing this by video by way of our YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course, part of your GOP YouTube channel as well. You can follow there and listen back to this. So any events coming up that you guys have up and coming here in the next
We do,
days
and we're
weeks?
very excited about them. We have our annual Lincoln Reagan dinner on October 8th at the barn at Vino. We're very excited about that. We are going to be at the Hot Sauce Festival, which we're thrilled about that. We were there last year, and that was a great event for us. We're also going to be this year at the Creedmoor Music Festival. So we're going to be out and about in the community. And we're looking forward to visiting with folks and explaining our positions and explaining our candidates and promoting what we believe is the step forward for Granville County.
Fantastic. Well, my friend, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us here, part of our Local Talk program. How can our listeners get some more information about you, about the organization?
So the best thing for to find out any information that you want, anything I've discussed or said, is to go to www.granvillegop.org. Our website has got just a treasure trove of information. We also meet on the fourth Thursday of the month, and that is our meetings are at the Granville County Expo Center. They start at 6 o'clock. So we invite anybody, no matter what your political stripe is, come on out and ask questions of the candidates. We're there for everybody. And we encourage everybody to come on out and let's ask some questions.
Fantastic. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us, okay?
Thank you.
You're the man. Yeah, Mr. Mike, he is with the Granville County Republican Party. Joins us here by way of our Local Talk program and Next Door Radio. This is, my name is Trey Scott. Until next time, God bless. We'll see you later.